Hi everyone, this is the Plant Propagator and welcome to my channel. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about the work that I do, please subscribe to my channel. Today we're in Southwest Florida. We're outside again. I've got my orchids behind me and you may be hearing my wind chimes beside me. But we're going to be looking at Propagation of Plectranthus, which is a member of the mint family. This is a wonderful low-growing plant. It has a really nice purple lavender flower, stays low to the ground, and it just does well under many of the conditions here. It can take not quite full sun, so mostly sun, partly shade, and it does really well here. The other thing is that the Plectranthus that I have that I'm going to show you today, also I should mention it's Mona Lavender is the type of Plectranthus. But I borrowed a cutting from a neighbor's plant, and all of the plants that I have are a direct descendant of that. So I make cuttings, I grow the plants, I make more cuttings, and this is how all of this works, is that you can make more free cuttings to use as you like. Plectranthus is a member of the mint family. Here's a cutting that I have right here. And the mint family is characteristically, they have square stems. So if I rotate the stem in my hand, you can see every time it rotates by 90 degrees. And that's because it has a square stem, again, that's indicative of the members of the mint family. This plant will root really easily, and you can generate just a whole lot of plants of this really nice plant for nothing. The way that I propagate this is similar to how I propagate many of the plants. So we'll take cuttings about this big, they can be smaller. We'll remove all but a couple of leaves. We'll use a rooting powder and then plant it in a good quality soil. All right. So first of all, when we have these cuttings, and this one doesn't look that great, but we'll remove all but a couple of leaves. The cuttings, they're stressed because you cut them, and the idea is that you get water evaporation from the leaves. So you remove the majority of the leaves, and it's less stressful for the plant and for the cutting to survive. Water evaporation from the leaves is called transpiration, and we want to minimize the amount of transpiration so that the cuttings will do better. And I've had very good success with these. I've had close to 100% of these cuttings actually root and they grow nicely. So the other thing that I want to share with you, let me put this cutting back, is that the soil that I use for this. So the soil that I use, I either use this, which is a moisture control moisture control mix, or I will use my Miracle-Gro potting mix, again, moisture control potting mix. The thing about the Pro Mix, sorry I'm disappearing. The thing about the Pro Mix that I like is this contains mycorrhizae. And so that's an organism that grows and actually helps the roots. It helps the roots survive and actually bring up nutrients. So I'm doing a comparison of the two types of mixes today. They look a little bit different. So I don't know if you can see it that well, but this one contains the Pro Mix, and this one right here with the larger pieces of perlite is the other mix. So what we're going to do is a comparison of these two types of mixes. They'll both work well. I've used them in the past. Again, the way to root this is, here's my cutting right here. We will remove most of the leaves. I'm just going to leave 2 leaves here. And the other thing to show you is that there's an old flower spike here. These are just gone. Okay, so we'll cut these off, and I'll make one additional cut here. I like to, let's say about this big is good. I will take this, dip it in water, just dipped it in water, and then I will put it in my rooting powder. The rooting powder contains IBA, which is indole butyric acid, which is a plant growth regulator that induces root formation. What I have here is an old product from Miracle Grow, and what you can find in most big box stores. And I should also mention these potting soils are in the big box stores as well. But this is what you'll find now instead of this is a product called Take Root. And Take Root, I contacted them to find out if there was anything else, but I contacted them to find out if there was fungicide that was in here. That, in the old days, that's what you thought was in here to reduce any kind of rotting of the cutting. But they replied to me and said that there was no fungicide in this mix. So all it contains is very low levels of IBA, indole-butyric acid, that's going to aid in root initiation. So what I'm doing here is I'm making 3 small holes in this is pre-moistened potting mix, and I will just take my rooted cutting, my dipped cutting here, and place it in here and then firm down around that. And I'm going to do this twice more with these other cuttings. All right, here's another cutting right here, and I'm going to remove all but 2 leaves, and I'm going to remove this old flower stike and this new flower right here. It's gone. So the cuttings themselves are pretty small, but that's fine. And like I said, it's actually better to have a small cutting. And I will take this and place this in the hole that I made, and I'm going to do this one more time. And I have this relatively large cutting here. Actually, it's not that big. And I'm going to remove the leaves. I'm going to leave just 2 leaves. Sometimes I leave 4, but here I'm just leaving 2 leaves. And I take this, place it in the rooting powder, knock off the excess, and place it in the potting mix. The last thing, so this is pretty much all there is to it. The last thing I need to do, they need to disappear one more time, is water this. So we'll give this a good drink of water one more time. And just enough, just so it's dripping out. We don't want to wash off all of the rooting powder, but you just give it one more drink of water, and this is good to go. This will probably do well and start rooting in 2 to 3 weeks. It might take a little bit longer. I can show you a result of previous cuttings of this, and these plants, and again, there's 3 in here as well. These were placed in here a little while ago. It's about a month and a half ago, and that's probably a little bit long. You don't want to let these sit in the pot for too long, but probably month and a half is fine, and we'll take a look. I know there's going to be roots on here just because the plants are growing so well, but you can get an idea of the roots and how well the roots are growing here. You can wait for them to be maybe a little bit more pot bound, but this is pretty much what you get with this. So that's all I have for today. I hope you try this, do this at home. This works great, it's really easy, lots of free plants. If you're interested in following me and learning a little bit more about the work that I do, please subscribe to my channel. So that's all I have for today. Happy propagating.